Day 99, road to a million. Crazy to think. We're at almost 100 days already. It's just insane. And yeah, I haven't gotten any clients, haven't made any money. But I'm not worried. I'm not worried because I just have faith, trust, belief in myself and understand that sometimes you got to do some healing first before you can go out and do these things and have some practice and trials. So it's like all these things that you guys see online of all these people that are, say, making hundreds of millions of dollars a year. They had to go through periods such as this where it was just practice, repetition, a decision, a change of mind. At least I like to believe that's the case. We only ever see the finished product, and that's why I do these videos, is so you can see like, hey, this is how long it takes. This is what I'm doing. I did, in a sense, as I think I was talking about yesterday, where it's like I did have somebody pay me cash for watching their dogs, which that's, in a sense, it's a client. Like if I look at it that way, it is somebody that I did a service, I provided a service, and they paid me in return for the service. So I figure any service that I do, as long as I say give a guarantee or something like that, that if they aren't satisfied with the results that they have after a month, 3 months, 6 months, they get all their money back. And I figure it's a month. Keep it in some sort of escrow or something like that. We'll see. Because then at least at that point in time, like it's their choice. If they don't feel like the service that I provided was worth the money, then they get the money back. I feel like that's probably the best way to go, is giving that guarantee. Plus that removes some of the self-doubt that I have, because if, say, I did have self-doubt around being able to provide the service, which I'm starting to have less and less of that now because of the conversation that I had yesterday, where one of the guys was like, yeah, that was incredibly valuable. Like I've never had somebody just sit down and talk with me for that long. And I was like, oh, okay, that's awesome. And then he's like, another guy that I was talking about to on Discord, he only had a German channel, and now I was telling him about it. It's just like, well, why not do an English channel as well too? And he's like, oh, that's a good point, because he says he does most of his thinking in English and speaking in English, and yet he had a German channel because he was trying to fill in like a German channel's niche around tech. And I was like, dude, I mean, if you want to do both, like if you're already writing the script in English, you might as well record it in English as well. And then if you also want to record it in German, you can record it as well. And if you have the same visuals and everything like that, you can just overlay them, and it's super simple. And he ended up doing that. So I am coaching people, and I'm giving them advice on what I think the best direction for them to go is, and they are taking that advice and acting upon it. So that's really, really cool to see. And that's kind of what I was wanting to work on, to make sure that I could provide that type of like service coaching. And I'm starting to see that, because even one of the other guys that I was talking with yesterday, he was also wanting to do, like he did mowing lawns, and he couldn't mow lawns because of wintertime, obviously, which, I mean, this video comes out in spring, so, but it's kind of beside the point. He didn't have a job, but I was like, dude, what are you interested in? And he's like, I like cars. And I was like, why don't sell cars? And he's like, well, I don't know the cars itself. So I was like, well, what about cars do you know? He's like, a modification. So I was like, well, why not look at a mod shop? He's like, I never thought about it that way. So me doing those types of things, like, it's cool, because it's that shift that I've had to make internally of being like, I just thought people ask questions like I ask of myself, to be like, hey, what do I want to do? Where do I want to be? What are the things that I'm interested in? How can I become and do more of those things that I'm interested in doing? And that's the nice little shift or change that I've made, and seeing that it's like these people that I know and people that I run into don't seem to ask as many questions of themselves as I ask of me. So me being able to be kind of ask them the questions and see what their interests are, what they might be good at, and then kind of work backwards from there seems to be very useful. And now that I think back about it too, one of my other friends too, he was trying to find a job, and I was like, dude, go into sales, and he tried doing insurance sales. It wasn't for him, which that's perfectly okay. Not sales isn't for everybody. I do think that everybody should do sales at least once in their lifetime, just so that they can understand how to communicate and get over rejection. Because if you make 100 calls a day and you get one answer, like you had 99 rejections, and those rejections, you start to realize, I don't take these personally. Like, it's not them. They're not saying no to me. They're just saying no to the aspect. They just haven't seen what I just haven't presented the value in the right way, or maybe it's not the right time for them to buy, or they aren't in the right mind state, or they Yeah, like they just genuinely don't think it'll be helpful for them, because I think there was a stat where it's like 2% of people, no, I think it's like 10% of people will buy without question. 20% of people will never buy from you. And then I believe 70%, my numbers might be off a little bit, 70% of people take convincing or persuading or questions to help them come to the decision themselves. And that's why I think if you are ever going to do sales, like, you should have a basic understanding of psychology and how the human mind works. Once you understand that, then obviously negotiation, body language, and sales tactics or strategies, questions, to be able to phrase your questions in the right way to be able to sell people in the ways that you feel most genuine. Because a lot of sales people that I have calls from, like, it's very question-based, and I get why it is question-based. It makes sense because most people, the people I've talked with, don't seem to have what I seem to have around communicating and kind of getting people to open up and asking them the questions, to be able to just be like, hey, I'm genuinely interested and I genuinely do believe that this will help you. And that's where my coaching comes in. So if you guys want help coaching or you want to improve other areas of your life, by the time this video is up and live, probably still be able to take on certain people. Otherwise, you can just keep using these videos as free advice and free wisdom that hopefully will help you get to $1 million if that's your goal, or if it's just to have an overall well-rounded, happy life. I just like saying road to $1 million because it just came to me one night. And it's just like, it doesn't have to be like $1 million, 1 million followers. It could be just be like having a mindset of $1 million. And the more you say something, the more it starts to become into reality. So it's like, I do want to have $1 million because I do want to be able to provide back to the people who have helped me. So I figure if I can do that by making these videos each and every single day, I might as well do that. And as you guys can see, like, there's days when I'm like up here, like right now, like I'm feeling great because I went on a walk. Went on a walk, listened to a lecture, and then did a run. So I did like 22,000 steps or so today. And my mood is just like way up here. Whereas the past 3 days, when I was on that little mini vacation, I wasn't walking at all. I was stuck inside all day. I didn't feel like leaving because I was watching dogs, and it makes me feel sad leaving them at the house when they can't come along with me. Like when I have my own pet, if I do get my own pet one day, the dog's going to be the most amazing like dog ever. Won't have to be on a leash. We'll be around me all the like. It's just going to be one of the most well-trained dogs that exists. Like kind of like a canine dog. It'll be kind of like that, if not on the same level. So it's just like, I didn't do anything for those 3 days, and you guys saw how my mood just like decreased and depleted. So it's like getting outside, taking a walk, doing a little lecture, maybe listening to an audiobook, going on a run, just being outside for a little while, even if you don't feel like going outside. Because like I was laying on my couch before I ended up going out there, and then I was like, all right, it's 2 o'clock or so, sun goes down at like 4:50. Like I'll just take my walk. I'll listen to this. Like I wasn't even planning on listening to a lecture, and as I just started walking, I started listening to a lecture, and there's a song, which if you guys could let me know what that song is, it was something like I Won't Let You Go, Caroline, but it wasn't like Sweet Caroline. I'm not sure the song. Some dude was playing it as he was putting up Christmas lights, and I was like, okay, I like that. I like that a lot. I should have just asked Homeboy what the song was next time. But yeah, so like, all I can say, dude, is like, if you feel down, if you feel in the dumps, like if you just aren't feeling good, go take a walk. Just take a walk. That's all it is. And I said that in like day 30 something or 40 or 60. I don't even remember. It might have been 63. I said it in one of those days as well too. And if you guys have been watching all the way up until this point, then just let me know that. And I'm asking you guys to let me know a lot of things right now, because I just want to know a lot of things. So I know I should only keep it to one call to action, which that's what a lot of people say. Like just one call to action. So it's like give a subscribe, give a follow, give a like, leave a comment. Join my course, which I don't have a course right now. Join my coaching, that I do have. Just like ask one thing at a time. It will build up into other things. And that's why it's just like taking one step at a time. But yeah, dude, that's just crazy how like me not going out walking around, me being stuck inside all day, completely like just depleted me. And today, like, I didn't really talk. I talked with a couple of people at the grocery store, but it was just like casual formalities. Like, hey, what do you think about this? Like, do you know if these apples are good? They're like sweet tango apples. And then she's like, yeah, you should try them. I was like, okay. And then like the cashier lady, I was like, hey, my coupon thing didn't work for some protein oatmeal. And she's like, oh, that's weird. Here, go back. Oh, all right, there we go. Like those were the only people that I really talked with today. Other than that, like I just chilled, went on that walk, and like this is my energy right now, which is just crazy to think. And I'm gonna go see the new Hunger Games movie as well here in a couple of minutes. It's like 2.5 hours. I figure I might as well. Like I did a lot of stuff today too. Like I ended up creating 7 shorts for the anime YouTube channel that I do. It took me like 20 minutes. Ended up recording a long form video, which I haven't checked on that because I've been uploading all the podcast episodes that I've done so far onto a YouTube channel so that I can keep it separate from like my short form channel. So it's like we have the long form podcast episodes, and then we have like the short form, like this is just my stuff, like this is what I do type of thing. And like having those two separate was something that I felt like I needed to do, so it was something that I ended up doing. And yeah, so like my day was productive. I'm gonna be kind of, I'd say, switching it up, possibly with what I do in the morning is kind of my thought. Because when I go to the gym first thing in the morning, it's like it almost feels like I need to get some type of work done first before going to the gym, which I did do that this morning. I just felt like I probably should have gotten a little bit more work done. But I ended up getting everything done that I needed to get done today. And it's all about taking like small steps, you guys, because if you're trying to climb a mountain and you try to just be like, oh, I want to be at the peak, you're never going to make it. It's just about taking one step at a time, which that's like my motto. Just one step at a time, because you take one step at a time, you'll make it to the end. And then like once you make it to the end, you just keep walking. It's pretty fascinating and enjoyable, I would have to say. So I think I'll leave you guys with that. Yeah, leave you guys with that. Hope you have a good rest of your day, week, weekend, evening, morning, night, afternoon, whenever you're watching this. And talk to you guys on day 100. That's crazy. Let's go.